Oh man, it's been a while since I've recorded. I feel actually nervous. I feel like I'm doing a speech for class. I wanted to talk about something that I know we're all struggling in this year, and I know that like we all have different things that we're struggling with, right? You know, and some of us worse than others, but so it's not to say in this video that I am trying to complain like I have it the worst or something like that. I'm very aware that like I'm okay. You know, this isn't the worst thing that could happen, right? It is something though that I did want to talk about and to share what my plans were, what happened, why everything just fell apart with one just woof, cut right to the system. Before I get into what happened, I want to explain that what my plan was for these past couple years, why I've been kind of inactive, active, why I've been doing stuff and then not doing stuff. It largely is because of school. I chose to dedicate a lot of my time to school. So even when I was trying to do something creative or trying to come up with something and edit different videos, and I was always coming up with different ideas, always working behind the scenes, but not really outputting much. Sure, part of that was my procrastination. I know that part of that is that. The other part of it, however, is I wanted to make sure that I was trying my best at school. In high school, I didn't really try that hard, you know, and a lot of it was because I didn't understand. I didn't get it. I wasn't good at school. However, when I entered college and really started putting in an effort, I started doing really well in school, and I thought I should stick to that because I want to study abroad. A lot of you may know that the main reason I entered college was to study Japanese with the hopes and the dreams and the desires to study abroad in Japan. Originally, when I was starting out in college, I was actually going to choose a college in Japan. I thought that seemed exciting. I could study abroad in Japan, get a whole degree there at this like American university, which I won't like share the name of, but it was a bit expensive. And I thought, you know what? That seems like a bad idea. That seems like a lot of debt to start out with, especially when I'm pursuing something like when I first started, I was interested in a photography degree, and then I was interested in marketing, and you know I changed it up a couple times, but I landed with Japanese. And my problem is mainly money, and you know, and I wasn't really ready to leave yet. I didn't know fully what I was doing to commit to it, so I thought, I'm going to go to community college, I'm going to work really hard, and I'm going to get in to SDSU, and I'm going to study abroad there because they have a great study abroad program, or so I heard. And so throughout the whole time in community college, we were taking trips to Japan. Many of you maybe have seen part of my videos. I always planned on doing like this whole like Fukuoka to Tokyo and filming different videos there. I made a lot of mistakes in filmmaking. It was my first, you know, attempts at it really. Sometimes I would find that I just had no story in what I had filmed, even though when I was filming I thought it would be great. I thought it would all come together, and it didn't, you know, and so it's kind of a failure, but it's something that I learned from. So I now know how to make better films, you know. You learn from experience is the best thing. And so I thought, you know, I'm going to keep my grades up. I'm going to keep them really well, and that took a lot of time and devotion and time away from what I wanted to do. You know, what I wanted to outside of school, because I do like my school. All of that was sacrificed for, like I said, for my schooling, so that I could study abroad, because you need to maintain a certain grade point average, and I wanted to make sure that I just like cleared it. I wanted to do the best that I could at school. And so we get to this year. You know, and I have had plans of studying abroad for a long time. It's what I've been working at the entire time I've been in college, the whole time. We get to this year, everything happens, you know, and like I said, I don't have it the worst. This is just my situation. I was trying so hard to be able to study abroad in spring, and there were so many issues with that, with me contacting study abroad advisors and talking with them, and that all aside, I get to some point in spring and they canceled the study abroad for the fall. I kind of seen it coming. I knew it was probably going to happen, but I wanted to make sure that I was doing everything that I could do to make sure from my end it would happen. But it's okay. And I kind of assumed that fall wasn't going to happen. I was a little bit worried about the safety of it happening, you know. So not a huge deal. A bummer, but not a huge deal. I knew I was going to go in the spring. So I continued to work hard. And nervously at that too, because I'm now in the last year of Japanese. And it's pretty hard. There's a lot of other classes that I'm trying to do that are difficult. There's some that I'm required to study abroad. And then it got canceled again. And this one kind of particularly bugged me because Japan opened up for students. And they're opening up for tourists as well next year at some point. I think they said April or something. I'm not sure on that, okay? But I know that things are opening. And so I was kind of really shocked. Not only did like I said, I had more issues with the delays at the office of getting different replies and stuff like that. That did kind of bother me, but I know that they probably have a lot of emails and stuff going on too, so maybe I understand. But for it to be full-on canceled, wow. It's like everything I worked hard for just got taken away in one swoop, you know, in one decision. It wasn't just a study abroad trip, you know, it wasn't just like, oh, let's go hang out in Japan. I was going to use that trip I was going to film every day. Those were my goals. Like I said, I've been putting all this off so I could focus on it at this point in time. I was going to film every day. I was going to do something adventurous every day. I was going to film school life. I was going to film random things around Japan that I was interested in, and I wanted to make a documentary. There's actually a project that I'm working on for school that I was going to use that research and get out and make a whole documentary film. You know, maybe something that was a half hour to an hour long. I was planning this whole project, and I was going to use that to solidify my place as a filmmaker in Japan. And it was going to be special. It was going to be what I love to do. It's what I've been waiting to do, what I've been working so hard to get to the point that I could do it, and it's gone. It's done. You know, and even technically, yes, I could just study abroad next fall. Okay, my original graduation date was in winter next year, 2021. The problem that I have with that, and some people say it's not like a big issue, you shouldn't worry about it, is that I am a little bit older than most of the college students. Not most of them, but maybe most of them. A lot of people that I know, I'm a little bit older. I'll be 27 at the time of graduation, if that were the case, right? And I know 27 is not like old, right? But it's old enough for me that it kind of bugs me to get there that much later, because the other problem would be the way that Japan's semester lines up with the way that the American one lines up. If you study abroad in the spring, you return in August, just in time for the fall semester. You can finish it out, graduate. If you study abroad in the fall, you don't come back until, I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's well after the semester actually started at SDSU, in the American typical semester. And which means that I wouldn't actually be able to graduate until the end of that spring. So I would have several months to kind of do nothing. You know, I would come back with nothing to do. I'd be done with all my classes. I can't join new classes, and that would just be that. You know, it would be all just, I would just be waiting to graduate. And at that point, it seemed kind of silly. Now, some might say, like, oh, just skip the graduation ceremony. I didn't have a high school graduation ceremony, so this college graduation ceremony kind of feels, this is my time. Like, I did it. You know, I'm waiting for this moment. And it all got kind of pushed off, you know, because of the whole study abroad thing. So not being able to study abroad, not being able to work on my film process and the plans that I had creatively to do in Japan at those times is a huge bummer. And like I said, a lot of people have it worse than I do, of course. You know, it is, at the end of the day, it is just a study abroad trip. I'm safe. I'm at home. But when you work so hard for something, it is a hit. It does really suck, you know. And I feel bad for a lot of people in many different situations right now that are experiencing the same thing. Maybe many of you could relate, you know. It's just because of the way that the timeline is. I think that's what makes it especially, like, just a bum deal, you know. Like, it's just I had everything riding on this point in time. And sure, when I graduate, my plan has always been to move to Japan, right? But now moving to Japan after I graduate, like, I know that I have to worry about, like, finding work and stuff like that and supporting myself, and it's a whole different experience than studying abroad. Studying abroad was a time for me to focus on my creative tasks while doing school. No one's going to bother me for it, you know? Now that the study abroad is gone, now I have a limited time to really, focus down on the things that I wanted to do, like, freely. You know, I'm not putting a time limit on myself. I'm not putting restrictions on myself, like, oh, I have to get to this point. I don't think that's a good thing to do. It's too much stress. I think it would get away in the creative process. I think to be creative, you kind of need the freedom, but you also need the limits as well. And I think that you don't want to stress yourself out, right? I don't want to stress myself out. But I had so much free time, and I'm actually working on short films with my friend, and we're supposed to film, and now it's all, like, squished into a smaller timeline, I think. Because at some point, you know, I do have to start some sort of a job, you know, until maybe I can pick up different film work, and do different jobs with that. I do have some plans to start a business. However, I do want to make it clear that there is a silver lining to things. And sometimes, as much as a bummer that it is that I'm not going to study abroad, a bunch of other classmates are not able to study abroad. It's just not going to happen, right? And I'm not gonna like waste, like I said, it would be like wasting a whole year in order to study abroad for a semester. Like, if I went in fall, I would be spending a whole year of my life just kind of like, you know, because I wanted to study abroad in the fall. Because even at that point in fall, my classwork in Japanese is done. So yeah, I could have the freedom to study whatever I wanted, sure. The other thing is, yes, I could work on my documentary film. I could work on all the other filming that I have been planning to do. I could do all of it in the fall, but it just stretches the timeline out too far from where I wanted to be in Japan, because it would be like putting the start of my life, like, out there on my own towards, like, 28, and I kind of just don't want to be at that point. I want to get out there soon. I've been eagerly awaiting getting out there and being creative and working on these things, and I don't want to wait anymore. You know, it's been too long. I've put too much into this. Who's to say that the fall study abroad plan won't get canceled? If I plan for that and fall gets canceled, I'm in the same boat. I gotta wait longer to graduate. Like, I can't do it anymore. You know, it's done. That was my time. That was my chance, and it's gone. But the silver lining to this, okay? I'm graduating earlier, okay? I'm gonna work really hard next semester in school. I'm gonna have, I think, like 5 classes going on, and I know that doesn't seem crazy to everybody, but you know, 2 Japanese classes, the finishing bits of research classes. So I'm doing research in both countries at the same time because we're all online, so I can just contact people and work that out differently. So I'll just be right here in front of my computer all semester, but graduating early has its own benefits. Graduating early and then moving to Japan next year, in a way, kind of sped up the process that I wanted to do. It kind of found a way to get me there faster, because I am several months faster. I was supposed to graduate in December, so I will at this point be graduating in May. So I'm really far ahead now. If I can get everything done next semester in an appropriate way, it's not like I have to worry too much about GPA anymore, I guess, because there's no added benefit at the end, you know? So from that side, if I can get to Japan, take a little summer vacation, a little month or so, or a month or two, or something. If I can get there, I can start life earlier. You know, I have someone waiting for me in Japan. I have things set up that I would like to do. There's a lot of creative tasks that I have put in that timeline now. Study abroad thing, gone. You know, there is no study abroad videos anymore. There's no whole year of filming every day of classes, but I do now have the freedom from school to, whenever I have free time, to go out and do anything I want to do. Because school has been in the way of most of the things that I've wanted to do. From high school, I knew that I didn't want to go to college. I am not a school person. I mean, I thought I wasn't a school person while I was in high school. I think that I love school now. You know, when you enter college and you realize that you can study the way that you want and what you want, and there's so much different opportunities in college that aren't available to you when you're in high school. In high school, I had a horrible time. I had horrible teachers. There was a handful of teachers that I liked, and it wasn't because they were like super easy on me or something like that. They were just genuinely nice. You know, I had teachers because I was talking in class. I had a teacher tell me that I was going to drop out of school and become nothing in life. Wow. But with not having so much that what I came here for, what I've worked hard for, with all of that gone, it's time to move on to the next chapter of my life. It's time to close this book of school. I'm not going to stay here another year when I don't have to. It's time to go. And it's time to experience the world and get out there and make movies and make documentaries, and that's what I want to do. It's my passion. It's what I love. I love taking pictures. I want to be there in Japan taking pictures. I love the creative process, but I love the creative process even more in Japan. When I can walk around the street and I'm like, wow, everything, if framed correctly here, is a complete piece of art. Like, I really think that Japan really is the artist's paradise. Can be. So I gotta get there. I gotta be serious. I gotta close this chapter and I gotta work hard at it from here on. I mean, I think I would like to imagine that I'll keep filming a lot during next semester, but school. I would like to try, certainly. We will try. But we'll see how it goes. And that's how it is.